In a world of ice and snow, a dog lay motionless on the snow, not moving its position for 2 days in a row. Seeing that the hair on the dog's body was frozen, many people tried to rescue it. But whether you used delicious food to attract it or other methods, this dog just didn't move. Why is this? Does it have any deep meaning lying here? We all know that dogs have thick fur, which can largely resist the cold. But on a snowy night with a temperature of more than 10 degrees below zero, no matter how thick its fur is, it can't resist that kind of cold. One night, heavy snow was falling in a certain city's sky. A man was driving on the road. He found a stray dog, curled up and shivering by the side of the road in the white snow. For 2 days in a row, he saw the dog lying there. Worried that the dog would not be able to stand a cold, snowy night, he wanted to get out of the car to pick up the dog and send it to the shelter. But when he approached the dog, he was shocked by what he saw. Under the dog, a child's head was faintly exposed. Now, such a scene can be said to hit the heart directly, and so this man hurriedly dialed the emergency number. A child lying in the snow in such weather would probably be overwhelmed by this cold. And because the dog was also so huge, he was afraid that ordinary people would be unable to subdue it. So the man also called the animal rescue team. Soon, both teams arrived. The rescue teams tried various methods to get the dog away from the boy, but the dog just stayed there, motionless. Even when a team member slowly approached, it looked like fighting. Seeing that the dog was so stubborn, he had no choice but to be gentle. The rescuers took out a big blanket and put it on the ground. The dog looked at the blanket, touched the boy's head with its paw, slowly moved its body away, and then pushed the boy onto the blanket. Looking at the worried expressions of the people around, the dog seemed to understand that these people wanted to help them. This time it didn't stop them from taking the boy. It turned out that the dog was using its own body to keep the boy warm. But despite the smart puppy's best efforts, the boy was dying of acute hypothermia. However, according to the doctor, the little boy would not have survived on such a cold, snowy night without this dog. It was the dog that saved his life. At the hospital, doctors managed to stabilize the boy's vitals and save his life. Now, the little boy is alive and kicking and has successfully returned to his family. From the description of the little boy stumbling, we can know that the little boy ran out to play that day. And because of the snow, there was a vast expanse of white everywhere, so he quickly lost his way. As the sky gradually darkened, the temperature also plummeted. Slowly, the little boy became too hungry and cold to hold on. And just before he closed his eyes, he saw a dog walking toward him. The case shocked the community and was reported by multiple media outlets. When police arrived on the scene, they commented, "The hero dog was the boy's savior and kept him as warm as possible for 2 days before someone found the boy. The child became numb in the average minus 12 degrees Celsius temperature, down to minus 21 degrees Celsius, and wearing only light clothing. The child would not have survived if it wasn't for the dog." A few days later, the hero dog also had to be treated by a veterinarian where he had been kept under strict conditions and care to restore his vital signs. It didn't take long, though, for the dog to recover, and the boy's family decided to let him put an end to his wandering life and become a part of their family in order to repay the dog for saving the boy's life. It's hard to believe that a strange dog can give such a helping hand to humans. Even humans with rich emotions may not be able to understand this. Therefore, animals really deserve our respect. Although they're not as intelligent as humans, they may be just as spiritual. Of course, they not only have something that exceeds the contribution of human beings, but also, sometimes the emotions of human beings toward their loved ones are fully reflected in them. It is often said that a mother is strong. Mothers are always the strongest and greatest people behind their children. When encountering difficulties, they will always abandon their own needs and will keep to their children. This kind of great maternal love also happens frequently to animals. The winter in Siberia is extremely cold. There are many stray animals at minus 20 degrees, and if they don't find a hiding place, they will often end up freezing to death. At noon, when the snow was being cleared, a man saw a dog lying in the snow from a distance. When he got closer, he found that beside the big dog, there were 7 small babies beside it, huddled together. At this time, they were leaning against each other to keep warm. Their bodies were shaking all the time, and they rubbed against the big dog from time to time, making grunting and chirping sounds from their mouths. The big dog's body was covered with snow, so much snow that it was buried deep. The man curiously reached out to touch the big dog, but found that its body was already stiff, and it seemed to have passed out for a long time. The position of the big dog was lying on its side as if she had fed the children before she died, and finally had surrounded the 7 cubs in a hugging position, trying to keep the children warm. The man hurried to find a cardboard box, and he wanted to take the 7 babies away first. When he was about to pick them up, though, the babies started to run away because of fear. One of the pups kept biting its mother, and it took a lot of force to separate it from its mother's body. After that, it kept calling. This scene made the man very worried. In order to protect her children, the mother had ignored her own safety to keep them warm. She had supported them until they were discovered by the man, and as a result, they had survived. The children, though, did not leave their mother's arms, even though they were very hungry and cold then. The man called in volunteers to help find the scattered pups, and even rushed to find a rescue team, hoping to revive the mother dog who had passed out. However, the puppies seemed to be very afraid of human beings, and there was no way to catch them all. In order to prevent the puppies from getting lost, the rescue team had to return the mother dog to the original place. So they hid, and they watched from a distance. And as expected, the puppies returned to their mother again. The rescue team seized the opportunity and quickly caught the puppies, and then also took the mother dog to the pet hospital. Although the man regretted not finding the dog in time, luckily the 7 pups were in good health and were then placed in a safe place. After the volunteers fed the pups and found them a warm place to sleep, they finally calmed down, and their mother, according to the inspection by the volunteers, had a red collar on her neck, and it was speculated that someone had raised the mother dog. So, whether the dog was abandoned or lost, it's unknown why it suffered so much in the cold winter. Still, fortunately, this group of puppies met kind people. And now the mother dog's body has been recovered, and the family of 8 has already started a new life. In fact, the local animal rescue organizations in Siberia are very worried about stray animals because the low temperature of minus 30 degrees or even minus 50 degrees in the local area has threatened the lives of many homeless animals. More homeless cats and dogs can be rescued, and a warm home can be found for them. If it were you, would you be willing to provide an opportunity to let these stray animals have a warm winter?